I want to talk to so many people. I want to be a speaker. I want to inspire people. वो philosophical है. उसको मैं money में express नहीं कर सकती हूँ. I cannot say that I'm earning this much money, so I'm successful. For me, success means this, that I'm inspiring people, I'm helping people.
Namaskar, Sasyakal, Adab. Good evening to everyone at Motherhood Club. This is Akta Sehgal, founder and chief strategy officer. Today, like always, we have an amazing guest amongst us, a woman of substance. कई बार हम ये कहते हैं कि हमें हमारी जिंदगी को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक सारथी की जरूरत होती है, और वो सारथी की जरूरत तो अर्जुन को भी पड़ी थी जब युद्ध हुआ. लेकिन आपके पास जो सारथी आता है, आप उस पर विश्वास करेंगे तो ही आप आगे बढ़ पाएंगे. और कई बार हमारी जिंदगी का जो सारथी होता है वो कोई और नहीं, हम खुद होते हैं. We ourselves are the ones who have the control of our life, provided we believe in ourselves. And such is a story, in a very short way, of Miss Ishleen Kaur. She is a business coach, a trainer, has achieved so much in her life. But I think if I give away everything, then I will give away everything about her in the introduction. So I am, for the first time, not going to speak much about her, because in her introduction is her entire journey of life till now. And you would have all read the title to her journey, that how someone from a small town rises up in life to become a business coach. Today, she is guiding and training so many people and has trained over 50,000 people across the globe, be it men or women. So let's hear it from Ishleen, who she is, where does she come from, where did she start, and where is she today. So a warm welcome, Ishleen, at Motherhood Club. What a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Ekta, and it's pleasure indeed to be here on the show. Thank you so much for calling me here. And thank you for this warm introduction. I never thought that my words can be so inspiring to so many people who are listening to us today. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to inspire others.
Super. So, Ishleen, as always, we always like to know our guests better, and we hate to read profiles because reading a profile is actually very boring. What I felt from the heart about you, of basis our few conversations, I said that. So, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our audience so that they know who actually is a woman of substance. So, back to you.
So, when you say women of substance, this is what I always wanted to be, right from my childhood. I am from a very small town. I don't know many of you would have heard the name or not. It's a very small town named as Thyog. It's near Shimla. So, right from my childhood, I was very ambitious, and I really don't know where did that ambition come in my life. Because my father was an entrepreneur, my mother was educated, but she was not a working woman. I used to, watch interviews of people talking. There were so many celebrities because at that time, TV was the only source of, entertainment and knowledge. So I used to watch interviews of people. And at that time, I always thought, Are, मैं भी कभी interview दूंगी क्या? Will I be there on that site anytime? And that was the small dream and ambition I always lived with. And no matter, I don't know whether you'll agree with me or not, but ours time when I was young, English was given extreme importance. Anybody who could speak in English was, caught everybody's attention. So I was not away with it. So I always wanted to learn English. But again, बहुत छोटी सी जगह से होने की वजह से ना, I did not get that exposure kind of thing. So I thought, because I was very keen to learn the language, अब सीखना तो है, but कहीं ना we constrained ourselves कि मेरे पास resources नहीं है. And I have seen this in many people whom I coach even. So कहीं ना कहीं हम अपने आप को ना constrain कर लेते हैं कि नहीं हो नहीं पाएगा. But I don't know whether I got this hereditary from my mother or my father, or it was something that I got from God. But I had that keen desire, and what I did was Oxford Dictionary liya. I started buying magazine. So this would sound like quite silly, but I was only 5. I was in grade 5, I suppose. And in that place कोई magazine आता ही नहीं था, because वहां पर reading and all का culture ही नहीं था. And I was not aware कि कौन सा magazine मुझे लेना है to learn English. I heard the name Femina, saw its ad, and I start buying Femina. It was, I think, 20 or 25 bucks at that time. I don't remember the exact amount. 1 rupee pocket money मिलता था. I was from a lower middle class family. 1 rupee मैं उसको इकट्ठा करती थी. And I never had courage to tell my father कि मुझे magazine ले दो. Because Femina में क्या होता था, they were all celebrities who were featured. So being from a middle class family, I did not want them to get a message that I am looking for that line, like wanting to be in films or be a model, something of that sort. So I don't know whether it was good or bad at my part, but मैंने वो इकट्ठे किए पैसे, एंड आई यूज टू बाय मैगजीन. और वो जो न्यूज़पेपर वाले भैया थे ना, अंकल थे, आई यूज टू टेल हिम, प्लीज मेरे पापा को मत बताना that I buy that magazine. And then I used to pick up new words, difficult words from there, go to my Oxford dictionary, take out the meaning, make sentences, start using them in my day to day life. I used to speak English in my school, and people used to make fun of me. Oh, I badi English bolne wali. So it was like that. So whenever, then, because I wanted to be a public speaker always. So I used to host my, programs on this, my school, programs, cultural programs I used to host. और उसमें मैं हमेशा इंग्लिश बोलती थी. And I still remember I could see blank faces, because I'm very sure many of the people would not even understand at that time what I'm trying to say. But I was so keen to do that. This is how my journey actually began. And here I am today, speaking in front of a lot of people who are watching us today, training people across the globe. I have worked with big MNCs. Now I'm working with entrepreneurs growing their business. I have good number of people whom I have worked with and really helped them grow it. So this
Wonderful.
is my journey in the simplest way I could explain.
Super. Before we go forward, Ishleen, a warm welcome to all our viewers who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn today. And let me read out a few comments that have come. So we have Shweta Sundar from Bangalore saying that a beginning may be small, but it is not a deterrent to dream big. Manjulata is saying that those were the days when we were scared of our parents also, so that's why we would not tell. And Shweta also says that she remembers how she used to go to Daryaganj and get those old books on Sundays to get premium issues of Classic and Illustrated Weekly and Reader's Digest. And definitely, reading is definitely a major ingredient to success. So Shweta is one of our members who writes and is an artist also. She writes and paints and draws very avidly. So yeah, I think what you just shared is so beautiful and inspiring that many a times we think that a problem is so big that we can't find a solution to it. But the solution lies within us only. And what a beautiful thing that you said. And आपने सिर्फ वो पैसे इकट्ठे करके अपनी नॉलेज को ही नहीं बढ़ाया, बट आपने नोइंगली अननोइंगली एक फाइनेंशियल लेसन भी सीख लिया कि अगर मेरा कोई गोल है तो मैं स्टेप बाय स्टेप करके उस गोल तक पहुंच सकती हूँ. So, as a finance person, that immediately comes to my mind, and I really appreciate that. And yes, those were the days where especially in small towns, वो इतनी फैसिलिटी नहीं होती थी कि हम कुछ कर पाए, बट उसमें भी आपने वो करा. और आज उसका इट्स अ टेस्टिमनी itself कि आप यहाँ हैं, you're speaking in English, you're comfortable with the language. And not only are you speaking here today, let me tell everyone that Ishleen has been conducting a series where she's been interviewing businesswomen who have achieved something or have something to contribute to the society at large, and she does it so beautifully. So Ishleen, वो तो था बचपन जहाँ पे आपने इस जुनून को बरकरार रखा, आपने मैगजीन से पढ़ा, इंग्लिश सीखी, डिक्शनरी का मीनिंग लिया. एंड ऑल्सो आई वांट टू ऐड समथिंग हियर before I ask my next question to Ishleen. She has one more sister and a brother, and Ishleen is the oldest. So Ishleen, back in those days, coming from a small town, the means are very restricted. तो कभी ऐसा हुआ कि पेरेंट्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आया कि भाई आप बड़ी हैं, you're the daughter, फिर बाद में अगर एक और सिस्टर और भाई आए कि भाई आपकी पढ़ाई को रोक दिया जाए, or you had the full support of your parents that okay, do what you want, continue to do what you're doing. How was that phase of your life?
When you were saying all that, I actually became nostalgic. And I still remember those days when we were in school. And from a very small town, there were no English medium schools, only one. But my parents got us admitted in the English medium school. And I'm born with a silver spoon, I would say rather a golden spoon, because my parents were the most progressive parents of that times. Yes, now also they are progressive, but at that time there were very less parents who actually promoted women education. And I still remember whenever I used to tell my father, I did my post graduation from Chandigarh. So I told my father that I'm looking forward to do MBA, and so he said I'm okay with it. I went to that college with my mother. So I told my mother, Mama, this is my dream college. मुझे ना यहीं पर पढ़ना है. And my mother was like, college तो मुझे भी अच्छा लगा, but I'm not sure पापा यहाँ पर admission लेकर देंगे या नहीं. I still remember her words. So my mother is a graduate. My father is not that educated, but I must say he has the most progressive mindset. He
Wonderful.
did not even say no for a moment. The moment I told him कि मुझे MBA करना है, because right from my school days I was a topper of my school. Then I topped in my BA as well, and without any coaching, without any tuitions, nothing, because I was very very much into my career. I was very ambitious right from the beginning. He did not say no. He said, yes, you must. And I don't know whether this is the right platform to share it or not. When my brother told him the same thing, that he wants to go for his post graduate, he denied, because he said, अरे तेरे तो 12th में भी उतने अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं है. आई एम वेरी श्योर तुझे कुछ नहीं करना. And my family, my brother would, if he's watching me right now, he would definitely agree that he always felt my father is partial and my father loves me more. So, and because he was not allowed to go for higher studies.
आई थिंक बेटियों का वैसे भी फादर्स के साथ एक अलग ही बॉन्डिंग होती है. बट आई एम सो ग्लैड टू हियर दिस दैट व्हेन द पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट to what you want to do and they have a progressive mind, definitely one sees that the children do well and they get the right guidance. But Ishleen, I want to ask you one question. You reached a point where you are today, which we're going to talk about in some time. But क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि had you not been in a small town, had you not the circumstances in which you were brought up in the place that you were brought up, do you think अगर यही आप किसी मेट्रो में होते या टियर 2 सिटी में होते तो क्या यही पैशन होता आपके अंदर, or did your circumstances determine that extreme passion that you continue to hold on? कुछ फर्क होता?
See, I'll tell you one thing. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि passion ना, it depends from person to person. It's not about where you are born and brought up. Yes, it somehow depends upon your circumstances, but still, I have seen so many people growing without support as well. I was lucky that I got one of the best parents one would always dream of. But I have seen so many people progressing who had no support at all, but still they did it. So there has to be some spark, some fire in you. And one more thing, many a times I wouldn't say that I've always been lucky, because when I talk about my post graduation, when I did my MBA, there was a huge US recession going on. I did not get campus placement at that time, no corporate job that I always dreamt of. But still, I did not lose hope. So I had two options at that time. Agar us time par I would have told my father that I want to come back because I'm not getting job, he would have been absolutely okay with it. But I opted to stay there and find a job. I still remember my first job was where I got somewhere around 6,000, 6,500 salary, out of which 5,000, 5,500 I used to spend. So I could not save anything. But still, I thought at least I'm earning this much that I'm able to sustain myself. I did not get any support while looking for job. It's all that I did myself. I used to go to Google because at that time internet started. Internet cafes were there. So we used to go to a cafe and then I used to Google it. I found some consultants over there. any job that I got. I have even worked as a counselor. I used to sit on the reception of, one of the offices. I worked there for 2 months. But then I got an opportunity to work as a trainer. But I never gave up. So अगर वो वाला attitude है ना, never give up वाला, you will always find a way. But once you give up, then even God closes all the doors of your success. So सामने
Yes.
रास्ता होता है ना, तब भी नहीं दिखता.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने एंड आई थिंक ये बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट सीख है बहुत सारे लोगों को irrespective of the gender because I think learning is learning it is irrespective of the gender that the moment you give up all doors shut and to open that door you need to change your mindset that is the only way that one can excel and as Ishleen mentioned that she got a job worth six and a half thousand rupees. Ishleen, it's a feeling of deja vu because आपके टाइम में 2007 में when if you would have passed out that's when the financial crisis had started to set in and there was a lot of challenges which happened eventually unfolded in January 2008. So the year that I passed out from my masters it was 2001, which was right after the IT boom and bust. So so I can understand and at that point in time especially when you're straight out of college कई बार हमें ये लगता है कि आई विल ओनली टेक अप अ जॉब इफ आई गेट दिस मच पेड दिस डेजिग्नेशन बट वी फॉरगेट दैट व्हाटएवर वी डू adds to a learning. That is where that never give up attitude and that acceptance that okay, even if I'm doing a job of a at the reception, I'm still learning. That progression that happens, and I think it also keeps you very humble. That humility आपके अंदर एक वो बनी रहती है. So ये जो आपने बात छेड़ दी अभी, so I think this was a turning point in your life. Something that
True.
didn't work your way turned out to be something which changed it completely for you. Please share about this.
Yes, and I completely agree. Sometimes what happens is we have a lot of plans कि मुझे ऐसा करना है. I always plan to have a corporate job. And things turned the other way around. I did not get that job. And suddenly I came to know there is an opportunity to work as a trainer. And my English was good. So I got an opportunity to work as a spoken English trainer. This is how I started. I used to teach young kids, they were college pass outs when I just completed my MBA. So many of them were only 2 years, 3 years younger to me. And I used to train them on communication skills, spoken English. So that was the time when I did it for almost 6 months. I used to prepare content, I used to do everything, I used to design activities. And then when I started getting testimonial from people, when the students used to come in and tell me that, ma'am, we got a job because of you, because we were not confident to, sit in the interview. That was the time when I realized कि मुझे यही तो नहीं करना था. I mean, I realized I'm a born trainer. I never learned how to train people, but I was so good at it. That was the time that passion, my profession changed into passion. Or maybe that was my passion I was unaware of. And I took it as a profession. So I worked as a trainer for a long period of time. But again, life has always something, I would say, a surprise for you. Then I got married, and I got married in a very small town. And here, where I put up right now, there were hardly any opportunities for training. And training तो मतलब अगर किसी को बोलते भी थे ना, so people used to say, अरे it's just a waste of money, कुछ नहीं होता training से. So that was the time मुझे लगा I was a trainer. And in that time online trainings were also not there. Online trainings, उसका थोड़ा सा pace increase हुआ after COVID. Earlier it was all offline. And being a daughter-in-law, being a wife, and then I gave birth to my son 2 years after I'm married. So it becomes a little difficult to travel all the way, and things were challenging, but still I managed it somehow. I started traveling. I could get my trainings back because I could travel. And I would add one more thing here. I could travel because I had the most supportive husband. But I completely agree. बहुत लोग ये बोलेंगे कि नहीं, husband support करो, it is your wish, your will. But husband support, पता है क्या होता है? When you communicate openly with your partner. This is what I did. So if he supports me, I support him too. And marriage is a bond where you have to support each other. But open and assertive communication is the key. And this I would like to tell to many people around me. I, coach women entrepreneurs where they share their family challenges, so many things with me. I always tell them, please be open. Don't lie when you talk to your family. Family is not somebody who needs to hear the lie. They need to hear the truth, the real truth behind it. And trust me, they are going to support you if you do it
You-
quite openly.
Absolutely. A very important tool that Ishleen just mentioned, and I think it is the key to a successful relationship, be it at profession, be it personal, be it with your children, or anybody for that matter, is communication. I will dwell a little bit more on this, but let me read out some comments for you. Anju Pandey is saying that she feels that the children are more sincere in today's time, and of course बच्चे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं life में, and because of the sheer passion and sincerity. Uh, Ila is saying that one has to identify their own strengths, which you were able to. Manju is saying that sometimes people don't know about themselves, but they prove themselves excellent in many cases. And there is trust is important. So, yes, Ila, you're right that trust is very important. But I think the word communication is the basis that a relationship can strengthen. And most of us lack this very important skill. क्योंकि लड़कियों के केस में चुप हो जाओ, बोलना नहीं है. But it is not about answering back. It is not about just saying it for the heck of it. Communication is a two-way process. उसमें बोलना भी होता है और सुनना भी होता है, and उसको process भी करना होता है. So there is so much more in communication. And Ishleen, I remember writing a small blog a few years back, which was, I think, about after I decided to get married, and my husband and I, we were talking, and we were very clear that we are both matured adults. We're getting married at a later age in life, and the only way that our relationship can be very strong is if there are very three important C's in our life. And we decided that the three C's are communication, communication, and communication. So the more you communicate, the good, the bad, the ugly. After all, life is a roller coaster ride. It can never always be a straightforward line. And if it is a straight line, we all know what that means. Medically, which means you're not there, you don't exist. तो वो communication का जो आपने बात की है, and I'm so glad to see कि what you are teaching people, what you are coaching people on, because communication is a very important aspect of business also. आपने उसको अपनी personal life में भी implement किया, and see where you are. You're there where you are. And for everyone who's watching us, let me tell you, Ishleen did not mention the place that she is right now, where she is married. She's married in a place called Ponta, which is close to Dehradun. So from a small town place next to Shimla, moving to a small town place in Uttarakhand next to Dehradun. And here she is, right in front of us, talking about all that she has achieved so far and coaching so many people, revered with so many awards to her credit, with so many certifications to her credit. So let's talk about this, Ishleen. You've done your MBA, you've done your B.Ed, you are an international coach, you've done your certification for some curriculum based things and a lot more. So do you think that in addition to communication, adding those skills, education and knowledge is an extremely important ingredient for anyone to be successful? What successful means, we'll talk about that. I'd love to hear your perspective, but do you think that it's a very important ingredient to be successful?
See, it is indeed very important to upgrade yourself. I won't say that you need this skill or that skill. Yes, communication is one skill which is utmost important, whether it is your personal life or your professional life, especially for business owners, managers, and I would say for everybody. But communication, as you just said, many people think they are good at communication, but they are actually not. So everybody must master the skill of communication, first thing. Second thing, there is one thing which is very important in communication. Please work on your listening skills as well. I have seen people who say we are good at communication, but they are only speaking. They are not listening. Most of the times they get defensive, they start explaining themselves, They don't listen to the other person's perspective. So communication is both speaking and listening. Please focus on listening as well. Then we were talking about acquiring skills. Yes, it is extremely important. When I started my journey as a trainer, I landed into trainings, but I had to do certifications because, when you are training somebody, when you are coaching somebody, somebody's life is in your hands. Why am I saying life? Because career, your profession, your business, it is the lifeline of many people. We live for that. There are people who are passionate about the business. If you do not have the right skills, what are you going to transfer to others? So identify what skills are required in your profession, in your business, and do certifications, learn those skills. If you are not able to learn those skills, please take expert advice. Don't try and test things. I've seen so many business owners making this mistake, trying and testing things to, and waiting for it to work out. Things don't work out like this. Either learn the skill. If you're not able to learn the skill, then please take experts advice.
Absolutely. So, before we go forward, one has to identify their own strengths. I've read that. Okay, so yes, Praveen, who's also, a professional, and she also takes some training programs. She's also written a book on parenting. Also says that communication is the key for a relationship. Jaya Mishra is saying that communication is very important, but sometimes it's very difficult. Yes, I agree. And as Ishleen said, that it's not just about saying; it's also about listening and absorbing and processing. Yes. So, Ishleen, we spoke about communication, and obviously it's not easy for everyone to be able to communicate. सिर्फ बोलना ही नहीं आना चाहिए, क्या बोलना है, कब बोलना है, कैसे बोलना है. I think these are also important aspects of communication. And yes, जिस तरीके से हर प्रॉब्लम का एक ही सोल्यूशन नहीं होता है, तो कई बार वो कम्युनिकेशन के साथ और भी कई चीजें हमें करनी पड़ती हैं. तो इसलिए हमने बात की थी सक्सेस की. एज अ बिजनेस कोच आई एम श्योर बहुत लोग आपके पास आते होंगे दैट आई वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल एंड आई एम नॉट सक्सेसफुल, आई एम कॉन्स्टेंटली फेलिंग. What is success? How do you define success, and how do you tell a person that how do you become successful? What उसकी वो उसकी चाबी क्या है?
See, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to success, I might sound weird to many people, but there is no definition of success. People define success in their own ways. For me, successful can be living a good life with my family, spending more time with my family. For somebody else, successful means earning a figure. It can be anything that they have set for themselves. For a few people, success means more visibility, people reaching out to you, you are known by many people. For some people, success means only a peaceful life. They don't want more money, they don't want social life. So success is different for different people. So there is no such definition of success as according to me. And if somebody asks me, how can I become successful? For me, success means set up your goals and achieve those goals. My goals can be different than yours. Even if I talk about business owners, different businesses have different goals. So we cannot set up a criteria for being successful. One thing. Second thing, there are people who say that, money means nothing, money does not matter, only mental peace matters, only your health, family, this matters. I don't believe in this philosophy. Money is important, but it's not everything. You have to have good health, you have to have good relationships, because if you are facing trouble in your relationship, if you are unhealthy, money cannot take that place. But अगर पैसा होगा तभी ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे ना. अगर पैसा होगा तभी आप बहुत सारी चीजें ले सकते हैं. यू कैन नॉट सर्वाइव विदाउट सो मेनी थिंग्स. सो मनी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. मनी डज नॉट मैटर इज अ फिलोसफी बाय दोज पीपल जिनके पास इतना पैसा है दैट दे कांट काउंट इट एंड दे डोंट नो वेयर टू स्पेंड इट. So I might sound, many people would not agree with me, but yes, money is important. But I'm not saying that you need to have a lot of money, but there has to be some goal. Then when you have a goal, it has to be all. Like, goal has to be your philosophical goal, how I want myself to be seen. Like my goal, philosophical goal was, I want to talk to so many people, I want to be a speaker, I want to inspire people. वो philosophical है, उसको मैं money में express नहीं कर सकती हूँ. I cannot say that I'm earning this much money so I'm successful. For me success means this, that I'm inspiring people, I'm helping people. But obviously money is equally important. So set up your goals, one thing. Second thing is, I've seen so many people setting up goals and then not doing anything for that. Please find the right way of achieving your goals. Divide your goals into small actionable steps. And small actionable steps means, see, goal setting is done in reverse order. So I never do goal setting like after 1 year I want to do this much. So fix up after 1 year I want to do this much, then divide it back ways. That okay, in 11 months I'll reach there, in 10 months I'll reach there, all the way back to 1 week. So once you know after 1 week I must be here to achieve my goal, then it means your goal setting is properly done. Once you take up action, then only you can achieve your goals. Yes, goal setting is important and it has to be a written goals, everyone. Please don't go for, just keeping goal in your head, and because the goals that are kept in your head, most of the times you lose motivation to work on it. So for me, success means whatever you want to do in your life. If you are able to do that, you are successful, no matter what. It has to be ethical. That's it.
Absolutely. And I'm sure a lot of people who are hearing Ishleen may also feel कि ये आज ये चीज़ एकता नहीं बोल रही है, ये Ishleen बोल रही है, because when we do our financial sessions, I keep telling that we need to write, because I think I'm also a firm believer कि जब हम कुछ लिखते हैं तो हमारा दिमाग भी एक्टिवेट होता है, हमें वो चीज़ें याद रहती हैं. And otherwise, we are all a victim of the New Year syndrome कि भाई ठीक है, रेजोल्यूशन बना लिया है, गोल बना लिया, देखा जाएगा. So I think जब आप गोल सेट करते हैं, it has to come with commitment. It has to come with a lot of passion and willingness, perseverance. और जितने भी आप एडजेक्टिव्स उसके साथ जोड़ना चाहें, गोल एक छोटी सी चीज है, बट उसको अचीव करने के लिए बहुत कुछ लगता है, मेहनत लगती है. और उसको करने के लिए वही चीज है जो हमने शुरू में बात की थी कि अगर हमने मान लिया है कि हम ये नहीं अचीव कर पाएंगे, तो हम ये नहीं अचीव कर पाएंगे. सो आई थिंक इट ऑल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम देयर. Jaya is saying that I think success is only your satisfaction about your work, your relationships, your creations. She agrees to you. Manju is saying goals should always be up to the mark, acceptable to all. Yes, but sometimes, Manju, I think goals are not acceptable to people also. They are very specific to you. And so we have to see that, are we setting the goals for ourselves, or are we setting goals to please someone? Right. And so there is a follow-up comment that she's writing that sometimes our aim hurts the sentiment of the others. I think that's where the communication comes in, that where you're able to communicate. And मुझे ऐसा भी लगता है, Ishleen, and maybe you can also throw some light on this, कि as we are nurtured in our childhood, वो हमारी जो एक नेचर होती है वो कंटिन्यू होती है as we grow up. And then to change that habit, that biasness जो हमारे माइंड में आती है, उसको तोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो आई थिंक ये जो आपने बात की, नेवर गिव अप, गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, डिफाइनिंग आवर गोल्स, डिफाइनिंग सक्सेस बेसिस हाउ satisfied we feel. Do you think these all things should be incorporated very early in life, so that by the time we reach a stage where we start working or we start a business or something, we have at least overcome these challenges that we may experience? And I think if you can help us understand, are these the most common challenges that people come up when they talk to a business coach like you?
I completely agree with it. There are a lot of challenges that people come up with, and many times, see, I'll tell you one thing. Whenever a challenge comes in front of you, always see whether it is a paper wall or it is a stone wall. So, by paper wall, I mean you just need to blow it and it will go away. But it looks like a stone wall. You'll feel that, oh my god, ye to hone hi nahi wala. I won't be able to do that. But it is a paper wall. So keep this thing in mind. Second thing is, as somebody just commented, that it's not easy. People don't align with your goals. So you don't have to align people with your goals, dear. And I might sound arrogant when I say this, but this is the truth of life. Start living for yourself. And by when I say start living for yourself, iska matlab ye nahi hai I'm saying start being selfish. जो हम लोगों की रोल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है वो हमें करना है. Okay, we have to take care of our children. We have to love our family, provide them, support them. And being women, we have been given this, it's a God's blessing that we care for people so much. So you have to do all this, but self love is equally important. If you have certain goal, please communicate with others. You don't have to satisfy everybody, but yes, the people who are very close to you, you have to talk to them. And if somebody really loves you, then the person will definitely support you if they know what is the real purpose behind it. And if somebody does not support you, then you have to say it again and again and again. Ultimately you'll get the support. But maybe your way of explaining it is not good, or maybe it is a mental block, it's a stone wall. Just try to blow it away.
Absolutely. So we have Tapasya from Bombay. She's also saying that for me, success is overcoming my own limitations on a daily basis in my journey towards my goals. Absolutely. And I think adding to what Ishleen said, that self love, for those of you who still are unable to do so, I think that should be your first goal, to love yourself, to pursue what you want to, because life is just this. उसी में ही हमें सब कुछ करना है. But if you're able to take out some time for ourselves, I'm sure each one of us can take out that little bit time on a daily basis to add value to ourselves. And let me also tell you this, Ishleen, that we have a lot of mommies on our platform who, they may not be working, but they are pursuing their passion so beautifully. Someone is either writing a poetry or a story, somebody is excellent in art and craft, someone is good in cooking, and they exhibit that skill. But yes, I think वो self love वाली बात जो आपने की है, which Ela, my co-founder, myself, my our chief trading officer Monica, we keep talking about this, that it is so important to love yourself. And I'll take a step forward. I it is very clear in my head, and I say that without mincing words, with my family, also with my husband, with my daughter, that if I can't love myself, I am not being honest towards you people. कि भाई जब फिर तो then I'm pretending to be someone who I am not. तो अगर मुझे परेशानी है तो मुझे परेशानी है, and I need to tell you that look, I am tired, I cannot do this. Or if I'm happy, I'm happy. Don't So वो, as women, as the fulcrum of the house, and I don't say this, my husband keeps telling me this, that the lady of the house is the fulcrum. That if she is happy, पूरा घर परिवार खुश है, खुशहाली है, सब कुछ अच्छा है. तो बहुत जरूरी है कि वो एक जो पार्टनरशिप है हस्बैंड वाइफ की, बच्चों की और पेरेंट्स की, मदर की, वो बरकरार रहे, और उसके लिए वो कम्युनिकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. So super, Ishleen. So we've spoken about your childhood journey. We've spoken about you as a trainer, as a coach. Now I want to move to that beautiful designation that you have of being a mom. Ishleen, you're a mother to a 8-year-old son.
Right.
How has the journey been? आजकल के बच्चे बहुत अलग हैं. जैसे हम और आप थे वैसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. They have
Right.
their different thought process. They are more, how do I say, they're more rebellious, they are more aware, there is more exposure. So how is Ishleen as a mother? क्या इशलीन मम्मा को गुस्सा आता है? इशलीन कैसे अपने बेटे के साथ डील करती है?
Ishleen as a mother is same exactly Ishleen as a coach. And there is one quality that I have as a mother, which is I never lie to my son. I have never lied to him right from his birth. I was always there telling him the bitter truth. Whenever he used to say, Mama, मैं ये ले लूं, there were so many people in the family जो बोलते थे, हाँ ले ले, या मम्मा हम कल वहां जाएंगे. So they people will say कि हाँ जाएंगे. I used to tell him नहीं जाएंगे. So he trusts me like anything. The reason is I'm always truthful. And the same is, business coach Ishleen Kaur. I never lie to my clients. In coaching, this is one thing that I always swear by. I never lie to people. You'll get into touch with me. You'll tell me that, okay, Ishleen, we want to do this. If I'm able to grow your business, I'll say yes. If I'm not able to grow your business, I'll straightforward say no, And I'll tell you why no and whom do you need rather than me. Because many a times you don't need a coach. You might need a digital marketer only, or maybe, I feel that you are not mentally prepared to hire a coach. So I always tell them, okay, don't get into touch with me. You don't need me right now. Maybe we can get in touch later. Same is the mother side of me. And I am a strict mother. Why? Because there are so many things that are available to our kids that were not available to us at a very younger age. They are exposed to so many things that I would never, want my children to be exposed to. But still, I still believe that as a mother, mother is the best, guide. Mother is the best friend of a child. You know what is good for your, child or not. So trust your gut, trust your instincts. You have to fight for it many a times. You have to fight with your family for your children as well, but go for it. Don't lie to your children, and trust me, if you start telling truth to your children, they'll trust you more than anything, and they will start listening to you as well. Because you know कि मम्मा झूठ नहीं बोलेगी. He knows कि मम्मा अगर होगा तो हाँ बोलेगी, नहीं होगा तो ना बोलेगी. So again, this is
Absolutely.
one value I would say that everybody must have, whether this is your professional life or your personal life.
Absolutely. I so agree with you. And I think कई बार हम लोग जब बच्चों को झूठ हम बोलते थे बच्चों को कि बेटा झूठ नहीं बोलना लेकिन वो झूठ हमसे ही स्टार्ट होता है and then that's when it boomerangs on us. So lying to a child means digging your own grave, and that's for something to boomerang at you. So Ishleen, he's 8 today. Very soon, in another couple of years, teen and tweens and वो सब phase उनका start हो जाएगा. अभी तक कोई ऐसा आपको challenge आया है as a mother, एंड इफ यू वुड लाइक टू शेयर कि अगर कोई चैलेंज आया तो आपने उस चैलेंज को कैसे ओवरकम किया, बिकॉज वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ मदर्स हु हैव यंग किड्स इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ, सो इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू लर्न फ्रॉम द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ अ फेलो मदर देन टू रीड इट इन अ बुक, क्योंकि जो बुक्स हैं वो ज्यादातर फॉरेन ऑथर से लिखी गई हैं एंड दे मे नॉट होल्ड much relevance in the Indian context. So any such experience that you've had, not necessarily it has to be a unpleasant experience. It could be a good experience, which was a huge learning for you as a mother.
Yes, I still remember the time when my son was very young. So he had bronchitis, and I was working at that time. I had to leave him home, and I was very guilty of leaving him home because being a mother, you feel so guilty. Oh my God, my son needed me, or abhi mujhe kaam par jana hai. So you feel very guilty at times. But that day when I left him home and I came back, he was okay with it. He did not say कि mama मैं बीमार था और आप नहीं थे types. And he was very happy playing with with other children in the neighborhood. And I learned a very important lesson कि ये जो mother's guilt होता है ना, it's just because we really love our children and we want the best for them. But no matter, you are not able to, अभी उसको लग रहा होगा this is not best, and many mothers will say कि अरे अच्छा छोटा सा बच्चा था बीमार था, you went to your work. Many people will say that, but don't worry about what people say. You know what is best for your child. And this is one lesson I learned. Please keep your mother's guilt away. If you have to leave your child sometimes, that doesn't make you a bad mother. And the same goes, as you just said, with teenage parenting, there are a lot of issues that come in. Children become more adamant, they become more stubborn. They don't, they lose connect with you as well. They want to spend more time with their peers, which is absolutely okay. This is with their age. If I talk about my teenage, I was the same. I was a tough child, but still my mother handled it well. So one thing that my mother did, and I'm going to do the same with my son, is she was very open to whatever I told her, whatever. And she would always keep her mother's side back and her friend's side in the front. So whenever I used to share things with her, she never said, "Arey, aisa kyun kiya? Aisa nahi karna tha, waisa nahi karna tha." She never did that. She always listened to me as a friend, and on a later stage, she guided me as a mother. This is one thing that I always suggest teenage parents to do. Please stop advising your children for on anything to everything. Please stop being over possessive. Try them, give them the chance to try things on their own. If they are fall, they always have your back. You just have to give them values. You cannot do anything else. Stop worrying too much about your teenage children and let them live their life.
So I think it again boils down to communication, what your mom did with you. She listened to you, and yes, as parents, we need to stop being judgmental. We need to give our child a chance to explore. And I think the generation today, I think there is a comment which has come. I'll just read that. Parenting is more challenging nowadays. Himani is saying that. And one more comment that came for you is, Ishleen, when your system conked off, that your journey is so inspiring and so relatable that many life lessons can be imbibed from here. So talking about the parenting, I think each one of us, is guilty of being a helicopter parent, whether we like it or we don't like it. We just cannot let them be the way they are. And until you start treating them as individuals, unless you start talking to them in a manner that you would with an individual, because they cannot reach your level, but
Right.
you can come to their level and talk. And I think, as a parent, I would say that I also am still learning. I won't say that I'm 100% there, but when you start talking to children, other children, which I did, it's through our talk shows at on our platform Kiddo Mentoring, and when we go to some of these schools for some sessions, when we talk to the children, and that communication that we have with them is so different, right? And you said a very beautiful thing, that Ishleen, the mom, is exactly like the Ishleen, the coach. The moment that balance is maintained, automatically your perspective towards dealing with the situation change. And I think it comes to you with experience, क्योंकि parenting पे कोई किताब तो आती नहीं है, कोई आपको guidance नहीं मिलती. It's all experiential learning, which is like the in thing these days, and it's something which is an education for life. So that also happens. So I would say that gradually the transformation is happening as you get to speak to more children. And yes, parenting has to be, we have to let them explore, we have to let them experience. So I think this is Shweta's comment. Sorry, my eyes are going back and forth because I can't see the name, so I'm looking at my phone. Yeah, so that's Shweta's comment, that my twin girls have always had each other, and it's like having a built-in best friend for life. They generally communicate with each other, sharing their doubts and concerns. And while that is sometimes good as a parent, it is not so good also at times. I feel I have to make a special effort to connect with them, and I end up feeling like the third twin. But for me, communication has always been an effective tool to bridge the gap. Absolutely validating what we've been talking here. So, Ishleen, as much as I would love to continue to have this conversation with you, and we've learned so much from you, from your life journey, from those little bit of coaching tips that you have shared for us. Before I say bye bye to you and let you go for today, two guidances or suggestions to homepreneurs or mompreneurs for that matter. How can they, you know, take their business to the next step? What are those one or two key guidances that you can share with us that will help them progress and have a growth mindset?
See, being a homepreneur, or I would say a solopreneur, is a very difficult job. Many a times you lose motivation, you don't feel like doing it, and there's a huge competition as well, because many a times most of us are selling the products which are available with other people as well, and the only differentiation there is in the terms of price. So many a times you will lose clients because the other person is selling the same product for a lesser price, and this has happened with many people. So I'll tell you one thing. One thing is, try to network with more and more people. Networking is something which really helps solopreneurs and homepreneurs grow their business. When I say networking, learn the principle of reciprocity, which means when you do something for somebody, they do something for you in return. So, because if I talk about India, we are conditioned in a way that we always reciprocate. If I talk about a friend of yours, if your friend helps you in your tough times, and your friend comes to you and says, "Are mujhe help ki zarurat hai," would you ever say no? Never. You will always say, "Arey, meri bhi to help ki thi, I should." So learn this principle. Network with more and more people. Try to give, give, give. Once you give a lot to people, it naturally starts coming back. They start helping you, they start referring you. One thing. Second thing is, try to differentiate whatever you are selling from your competitor. Try to find what differentiates you other than price. Because if you are only playing on price, then obviously the customer will buy what is cheap, what is available for cheap. Third thing is, which I tell many people to do, networking is important, differentiating yourself is important. And there is one more thing: keep yourself motivated, learn the skill of marketing. If you are not able to learn the skill of marketing, at least increase your visibility. Because when a customer buys from you, there has to be 8 touch points. Once the customer sees you or your product or service at least 8 times, then only they feel like buying it. Increase your visibility, post a lot on social media, play online ads, and there are so many other ways to increase your visibility. Put more and more ads, put it on your WhatsApp status. The more people see you, the more people see your content, the more people see you speaking, see you sharing about your product, the chances of buying from you increase. Although when it comes to other businesses, there are a lot of marketing strategies that can be implemented, but for the basic homegrown business, these are the best tips I could share.
Absolutely. And so I agree, networking is very important. And to build that credibility for yourself, that visibility is of utmost importance. So, Ishleen, you know, there are some lovely, lovely comments that have come for you today. And I'm so glad that we had this conversation today. So, Shweta is saying that thank you for the wonderful session, Ishleen. There are some more comments that have come. Tapasya is saying that you always get responses if you reach out with positive frame of mind, as people can feel energies unknowingly. Absolutely right, Tapasya. Imani is saying thank you. Ripa has joined us from the US. She's saying that joined in late, but what a wonderful session. So she's also extending her gratitude. So thank you so much, Ishleen, for this wonderful conversation. And like always, I think this is our third conversation. Again, a wonderful conversation, and we hope to have more conversations with you. So thank you from the entire team of Motherhood Club to be here to share your thoughts, share your inspiring journey. And we wish you all the very best to continue to do the amazing work that you are doing. And for everyone, thank you for being here, for showering your love on Ishleen. We'll come back soon. Festivals are going to start from day after. We do intend to have some fun during these days. So stay tuned at Motherhood Club. Lots more to come. Till then, stay safe and take care. Signing off for today. So thank you, Ishleen, and bye bye, everyone.
My pleasure. Bye bye, everyone.